Imagine a masked hero swinging through New York City, saving lives and stopping villains. His name? Spider-Man. Now, as a child, I had a lot of problems with the idea of this hero. First and foremost, how are his webs so strong? I mean, come on, they're impossibly thin, they hold the weight of multiple people, it's ridiculous. But spider silk is much stronger than I ever gave it credit for. In fact, it is stronger per ounce than Kevlar and offers much more flexibility. Think of a way that a strong yet flexible material could revolutionize certain products. Think of parachutes resistant to tears, seatbelts that stretch without breaking, and ropes resistant to snap. While spider silk technologies have clear applications in these industries, they are currently leading the forefront in biomaterial design. There are two aspects of current biomaterials that leave something to be desired. The first is that your body has a natural tendency to reject foreign bodies. So think of when you get a splinter in your hand and how much discomfort and inflammation this can cause. Now think of if this splinter was made of metal and in your bone. It's not a pretty picture, right? And in fact, your body will actually attack those implants and cause inflammation. Unfortunately, this reduces the overall effectiveness of an implant. Likewise, current bandages need to be changed often, and they are less effective because of this. They can actually have an increased infection risk because they don't provide proper aeration to a wound. And typically, slow-healing wounds like diabetic sores are in awkward places like the foot, where it's difficult to get proper aeration. An untreated infection in a sore or a burn could result in amputation for the patient, which drastically changes the way they have to live. Additionally, with current bandages, healing is not promoted because the soft tissue actually doesn't adhere to it, and skin grows best when it has scaffolds to climb up. So, where does spider silk come into this? An article in Advanced Healthcare Materials reported a consensus on spider silk's functionality. Silk provides structure for skins, and when implanted, there's no noticeable inflammation over traditional methods. Silk was also injected in the human spinal nerve, and the spinal cells actually adhered to it within 5 days, which is insane. This makes spider silk a candidate for implants. So speaking of implants, traditional orthopedic implants like this knee replacement behind me are metallic and can actually lead to infection. And in a study performed at Tufts University, cocoon-derived silk was machined into orthopedic screws and plates similar to the ones seen here. These devices actually displayed strength very similar to bone when tensile tested, and were compatible with human bone marrow. Now this might sound like a really complicated way to make a Band-Aid a simple screw or plate, but it is the medicinal properties that spider silk can be infused with that make it really stand apart. In a study funded by the Biotechnology and Biological Sciences Research Council, a method of silk production was modified to give antibiotic and antifungal properties to a single dressing. The antibiotics were added after the silk formed, and the antibiotic properties actually were released for up to 5 days after the initial contact with E. coli. There was an initial pulse of antibiotic release, followed by a gradual decline, which when you're spot treating a wound like a diabetic sore, this is exactly what you want to happen. 2 properties in one dressing would be better for patients, and it would help slow healing sores heal faster. While spider silk is a perfect candidate to revolutionize the biomaterial industry, it is currently in the infancy of development. It will take years before it is readily available for consumers. However, it is worth the pursuit because it would greatly improve patient livelihood. To me, advanced medical dressings are extremely important because my father's a type 1 insulin-dependent diabetic. Whenever he develops a sore, he cares for it diligently, going to the doctor if necessary. Normally, it clears up in a few weeks. But what if that didn't happen? The reality for some diabetic patients is that they try relentlessly to heal their sores, and the infection just keeps spreading. Eventually, they're forced to amputate. This drastically changes their lives, and by funding research in advanced medical dressing, we give them a chance to live a life where they can treat their infections and not have to worry about the infection spreading, resulting in amputation, even though they're doing the right things. So right now, the world of biomaterials needs a hero. And while a masked teen swinging through New York City might not be it, The technologies that he possesses are: spider silk assists and provides structures for tissue regeneration, and implants will be more comfortable for the user because they are biocompatible. Antibiotics can also be added to both of these to greatly improve their functionality. But why should we stop there? We can learn so much from technologies that nature has perfected through billions of years of evolution. As Peter Parker's Uncle Ben once said, "With great power comes great responsibility." We have the knowledge to introduce these technologies to patients, and now it is our responsibility to use them to improve their lives.